Copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network. You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News & World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 18 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.
Good evening and welcome to the Holbert Arena on the campus of Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. And here we are once again for a pivotal HCAC matchup. Hello, friends. Walter Gordon, Troy Wilson, along with the broadcast here tonight, and a couple of teams that are going to do battle here tonight. Rose-Hulman and Earlham College. Earlham has made their way up from Richmond. A lengthy bus ride, and we'll see how they come out today. And it's going to be another great one, another pivotal matchup here in the conference, Troy.
Yeah, it is. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here
Yes, we
at
are.
the end of the conference season. Everybody's still fighting over those 6 positions that will make the conference tournament at the end of the year. Right now, Rose-Hulman looking pretty good, tied for 5th, and with the win this last weekend over Mount St. Joe's, gave themselves a little wiggle room there between 6th and 7th. So, you know, this is a game you feel like they really need to win tonight over kind of a weaker opponent, so got to take care of business at home.
You know, when you look at a couple of things, number one, you mentioned taking care of business at home, something that you talked about pretty much all season. Winning these home games, they're so pivotal.
Yeah, they are. It was last week we sat here and watched a really good Hanover team come in, and even though Rose got off to a flying start in that one, they just couldn't keep the pace through the whole game. And Hanover came in and got a victory here. And it doesn't feel good when you lose one on your home floor. But the Fighting Engineers made up for it this past Saturday, took care of business, and we'll see if they can do it again tonight against the Quakers.
Both of these teams coming off of a nice victory. Of course, Rose-Hulman on Saturday beating Mount St. Joe's here at the Holbert Arena, which is their second of their 3-game homestand, this being game number 3. Earlham comes fresh off of a big victory against #1 team in the conference, Anderson. Boy, I tell you, it's just when I saw that score, I don't know how you felt. I was a little surprised. But Earlham played Anderson really well, went to overtime with them at Earlham, but then went to Anderson and got a big victory.
Yeah, that was surprising. I think everybody a little shocked by that one. Of course, Earlham beat Wabash at Wabash earlier in the year.
Did.
So even though they're at the lower end of the standings, they're not having a great year, just 4-15.
Right.
They have the capability to, when they're all playing in sync with one another and everybody's shooting well, they have the capability to hang with anyone. And that's the fun part of the Heartland Conference. You get any 6 teams in the tournament, any of them can beat the other on any given night. So
it's going to be a wild one to finish out this season. It's going to be a wild one here tonight at the Holbert Arena. We're glad to have you here tonight. We'll step aside for our first break in our pregame show. Come back and get you set for action. It's Earlham against Rose-Hulman right here on the Indiana Sports Network.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
XLH Sports, the undisputed leader in Indiana high school sports, is proud to be associated with the Indiana Sports Network. XLH Sports, check it out today.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward, and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have. And that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s,
Indiana's mental health system began to take shape.
from 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people in central and west central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
You're watching college basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Earlham comes in with a record of 4-15 overall, like Troy said, 3-9 in the conference. Rose-Hulman touts a record of 10-9, just staying above that 500 mark. Same with conference, 7-5 in the conference, which is, like you mentioned, Troy, tied for 5th place. And when you look at the way the season has gone, both teams had some quality wins, had some tough losses. These teams, this is the second time they played. Rose-Hulman was able to get a victory at Earlham in the early parts of December, 77-65, getting a 12-point victory then.
Yeah, and they had it was an all-around effort in that one. Terry Hicks had 21 points. Miles had 13 and 9. Harden had 10 points, and then Kobe Studemeyer had 15. So 3 for 3 from 3 in that one. So they know what it takes to beat Earlham, and I think they intend to do just that this evening. So.
You know, I think when you watch Earlham, it kind of proves a point that sometimes sports is just about matchups. And I think that Earlham presents matchup difficulties for a lot of teams in the conference with their athleticism and their speed. And we'll see what kind of a challenge that presents to Rose-Hulman tonight. Rose-Hulman has some pretty quick guards, but it'll be interesting to see how well we are able to stay in front of them defensively.
Yeah, and we've seen Rose struggle with that before, right, keeping up with a faster team. We talk about that almost every telecast, it seems like, how they're a little bit bigger, but maybe a little bit slower than a lot of teams. And Earlham's kind of that way. You know, against Anderson, they had 20 fast break points, which is a pretty high number, and 26 points off of 19 turnovers they forced. So one thing that's going to be important tonight for the Engineers is taking care of the ball and definitely getting back in transition. So,
and, you know, when you look at Earlham in the course of the season, you know, 19 turnovers causing against a team like Anderson on the road. That's a high number to cause that many turnovers. It's one thing to cause turnovers. It's another thing to capitalize on them and get those points. That's one area to me that seems like Rose-Hulman has struggled in the transition opportunities, capitalizing on those.
Yeah, it is. We don't see a lot of that with Rose-Hulman. They don't get a lot of transition buckets. Their pace of play, start of the year, kind of slower, picked up after the holidays, but they've never really been a super fast team. And, you know, you can't change who you are. You just got to tweak who you are. So they're doing a pretty good job of it. I honestly feel like this team's gotten better and better as the year's gone along. They've had a few dips and valleys here. Some injuries, of course, play a role with every team. But that's the one place where Earlham could get to them tonight is in transition, and it's going to be really important for the guards. Bradley Harden, kind of their lead defender. I expect him to play a big role tonight.
You know, Harden, Jackson, Studemeyer, you know, sometimes it's tough to depend on a freshman for defense. But some of our guards, you mentioned staying in front of Earlham tonight, and that is just a tough task with the speed that they possess. Earlham has several young men that can really score the ball in a variety of ways. The one thing they don't do is shoot the three exceedingly well. So trying to keep them out of the paint tonight would be important for the Engineers.
Yeah, they had 42 points in the paint against Anderson, and I ran through the stat line of that Anderson game, and I mean, you're surprised by a lot of the things that happened. But you mentioned matchups a few minutes ago, and I think they just match up well with Anderson this year. As surprising as that is, you got a 4-15 team, and you got the leader in the conference. They're 10-2 in conference play. And somehow Earlham just matches up well, and they're able to kind of exploit some things on Anderson that other teams haven't been able to.
You mentioned the win at Wabash, and that when I saw that really struck me. The beginning of the season, they have a very respectable loss at Trine, a team that Rose-Hulman really struggled with. I was at that game, and that was not pretty. But Earlham, beginning of the season, 9-point loss on the road at Trine, a true road game, and it's not one of those where halftime was a blowout. They were right with them. They were, I think, down 7 or 8 at halftime. So then you go to Wabash and get a true road win there. You go to Anderson, get a true road win there. So there, you look at Earlham. This game is, this is a game that Rose-Hulman is going to have to be focused on. And I hope they're not overlooking this game to get to their road swing, because Earlham has shown the ability to go on the road with those 3 that I mentioned and play very well.
Yeah, they're obviously not intimidated. No. I mean, if you go into Crawfordsville and beat Wabash, you go to Anderson and win there, that proves in itself that you can handle about any road game that you're going to face. And, tonight, it'd be an easy one to overlook for Rose. The students aren't here tonight because it's test week, and it's going to be a smaller crowd. There's not going to be the big enthusiasm that we've seen in some recent games, and it's one of the teams towards the bottom of the conference standings. It's easy to look to the next one, and you can't let yourself do that, especially this deep in the season where each and every one of these games counts quite a bit.
Tonight is kind of BYOE, bring your own energy. And Rose-Hulman definitely is going to have to do that tonight. You can just tell in the gymnasium, very quiet atmosphere right now. It kind of, it kind of reminds me of some of the COVID games, to be honest with you, where you had no one here. Obviously, there are a few fans in attendance when the students aren't here. It makes a big, big difference.
Yeah, it's a whole different atmosphere, We had Greek night here last week, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, they were loaded up here in front of us, and it's just a whole different deal. And, we've got the faithful coming out, so it's good to see them, as we always do. And it's an awesome place to come watch a ball game. If you've never been here, I would definitely promote the Holbert Arena. It's an excellent facility. So.
Absolutely. Had the early in the season hosted the Gobbler Games shootout, and the Holbert Arena making themselves available for that, and we'll see next year maybe to be here again. I'm not 100% sure, but I honestly I hope so, because it was a great venue, a beautiful gymnasium, and a great seat to be had no matter where you're sitting. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight's game while we have an opportunity. Brian Sponsor Insurance, Great Dane, Hamilton Center, Honey Creek Collision, Lynn's Pharmacy, Mossy Oak Properties, Vidal National Bank, and York Automotive. York has locations in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. Total of 5 locations in those 4 cities. They're ready to serve you and prove to you that you are number 1. Big contest tonight. Earlham and Rose-Hulman, Troy, your expectations and maybe some keys for Rose-Hulman to get this victory.
Yeah, well, we've already mentioned a few. Getting back in transition, and you got to slow Earlham down in the paint because they can score inside, and Rose has the guys to do that. They can shut them down, I'm sure. If you're Earlham, I think you want an up-tempo game. Make Rose run, try to get out, get some quick, easy buckets, and I think we could see a close game for probably most of the first half, but if you're Rose, you want to get to that 10, 12-point mark and try to hold it there, Try to make this comfortable second half. So.
And we'll step aside for our last commercial break, come back with the starters in the tip. It's Rose-Hulman basketball right here on your spot for sports, the Indiana Sports Network.
Today's vehicles often require additional procedures such as computer scans for even simple repairs. This ensures that your crash avoidance system and distance sensors are functioning properly.
At Honey Creek Collision, we invest in the latest equipment and technology and provide continuing education for our technicians to ensure a high quality and safe repair.
Honey Creek Collision is a second-generation, family-owned and operated business that you can trust.
So when your insurance company asks, tell them you're going to Honey Creek Collision.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools.
We eat at the same restaurants.
We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstadter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service, dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
At Indiana Land and Lifestyle, we go to great depths to list and sell your property. If your agent isn't willing to go to these depths,
6 acres with bass,
to list and sell your property, don't you think that's a little fishy?
And there's fish everywhere. Oh! And snapping turtles!
For all your Indiana land needs, check us out at indianalandandlifestyle.com.
Oh, that's gross.
I'm all-pro running back Jonathan Taylor for York Automotive. York is my #1 pick for your next car, truck, or SUV. Shop from over 600 vehicles at yorkautomotive.com today.
You're #1 at York.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
College Quakers. At guard number 0, Joffrey Nunnally. At guard number 2, Tommy Makabu. At guard number 5, Anthony Phillips. At guard number 10, Jaden Terry. And at forward number 25, James Holder. The Quakers are coached by Joe Schroyers. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers. At guard, the 5'9" freshman out of Jeffersonville, Indiana, number 2, Kobe Studemeyer. At guard, the 5'11" junior out of Alexandria, Virginia, number 3, Bradley Harden. At guard, the 6'2" senior from Carmel, Indiana, number 5, Max Chaplin. At forward, the 6'5" senior from Fishers, Indiana, number 10, Terry Hicks. And at forward, the 6'7" sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 42, Miles McGowan. The Fighting Engineers are coached by Nick Sales. Fans, a reminder today that the HCAC promotes good sportsmanship by students.
And the starting lineups you just heard for the Quakers: Nunnally, Makabu, Phillips, Terry, and Holder. For the Engineers, Studemeyer, Harden, Chaplin, Hicks, and McGowan. It's going to be a really interesting game here tonight. They say styles make fights, and I think stylistically this could be a really interesting and intriguing matchup tonight between two quality opponents. And I will say, I am loving the Earlham road jerseys. I think these are new this year.
Yeah, they're eye-catching.
Those are sharp. I love those jerseys. Wow. Okay.
We found Walt's flavor here. They are pretty good looking,
nice.
though. I like those too.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, this could be a matchup problem for Rose. So let's see if they can find a way to fight through it.
Rose comes out man-to-man defense as usual. And Earlham likes a little pick and pop and a little roll to the basket. James Holder will have an opportunity to step to the free throw line and score the game's first points. Studemeyer called for the first foul.
When you look at Earlham, pretty much every major statistical category, as he makes the first one, is led by Jaden Terry, the senior guard out of Indianapolis. 15.9 points per game. He leads rebounds, also assists and steals per game. So kind of the senior leader on the team. He is number 10 on the floor.
Kind of feast or famine when you look at the starting lineup for Earlham. 3 seniors or a grad student, and then 2 freshmen. So interesting starting lineup as Hicks got his hands on the ball, but not before a foul. That was going to be an offensive foul called on Harden. So 1 possession offensively, 1 possession defensively. Rose-Hulman 2 fouls, no points.
Little slow start here, so After we saw that Hanover game last week, you can't really judge a book by its cover. So
no, you cannot.
We'll hope they get with it here soon.
There's the speed that I was talking about for Earlham all the way around. Tommy McAboo got to be able to stay in front of him, and Rose-Hulman was nowhere near. 4-0 early. Engineers down. Chaplin, a screen by McGowan, and got him to a nice mid-range spot. Usually it's money. Didn't hit that one. Holder out in transition. Little Euro step. No shot being made, and here come the Engineers.
It would appear so far Earlham's looking to get out quick.
And there's the equalizer. Miles McGowan getting caught. Earlham getting caught in transition on McGowan. McGowan an easy 2 points. Earlham spreads it nicely. They have good ball movement and player movement. Screens and cutting aplenty. Nice defense there by Harden. Almost caused the turnover. Shot clock down to 3. Off the glass, high. Holder the offensive rebound. The tip in no good. Here comes Chaplin. Harden had Hicks for a moment. Studemeyer off the curl. McGowan crashing. When he crashes, you got to find him. Earlham, great defensive pressure on the ball. Hicks free throw line jumper in and out. The iron unkind. Here comes Earlham down in a blitz. Jaden Terry.
Well, just no hesitation from Earlham at all at the beginning of this game. A lot of driving, and Rose-Hulman's got to keep their heads up and get back quick.
Chaplin, a pull back. No good. And here comes Nunnally. That could have been the Studemeyer's second foul. Instead, it's a 3-point shot by Phillips. No good. Off the front iron.
As you mentioned, Earlham, not a strong three-point team. That's not their bread and butter. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot of that tonight.
Engineers is going to have to settle into this one. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Studemeyer gets a screen. Gets it back to Hicks. Hicks, the three-pointer, no good. Zachary Jackson at the scorers table, going to bring in a little more speed. Also, Simon Blair going to check in at the next dead ball.
Yeah, we've seen James Holder, the 6'7" freshman for Earlham. He's been a bit of a problem so far, crashing inside, so Blair may be sent in to handle him a bit.
Here comes McGowan on Holder. Outside to McAboo. He's going to dial up the three. That's where you want Earlham right there. You want them shooting the threes, and if they make 8 or 9, you're in trouble. But you want them shooting from the outside, not driving by you.
See if Rose can get a shot to fall. It's been an awful cold start here tonight.
It has. I just love the defensive intensity, the ball pressure by Earlham thus far. You know, doing that for 4 minutes is one thing. Doing it for 40 is something totally different. We'll see how they keep this up. Also coming in, Carter Abshire, another freshman, coming in for Earlham, his first action. Chaplin in the paint, did not get the three-point opportunity. He's going to get 2 free throws.
Love that inbounds play, though.
Yeah.
Real nice catching Chaplin on the cut to the hoop there.
Mm-hmm.
Abshire comes from Farmland, Indiana, which I'm looking up right now because that's another one of those I'm going to ask you where it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to guess it's not an urban area called Farmland. It's, you know.
It's 2.5 hours away. I know that. So
is it near Richmond? Any chance?
It actually is just northwest of Richmond. So.
Chaplin makes 1 of 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just northwest of Richmond by Winchester, which I've been to the racetrack in Winchester several times.
Very good.
I've probably been through Farmland and not
probably
known,
have.
So.
You probably have. A nice little dump down as a travel. Abshire wasn't quite ready for the pass, and it's going to be a turnover. Media timeout, 15:50 to go. Rose-Hulman down 3.
We're the Browns, and this is our account.
Our relationship with Riddell really began when we were kids, so when we started our business, it seemed like a natural fit for us.
Riddell's provided all of our financial needs for both personal and business, and we could not be happier with the level of service that we're provided.
Riddell National Bank has helped us grow our business so that we can help grow our communities with the core values that we both share. If you're looking to grow your business, Riddell is your best option.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has the mission of leading every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. Through camps and huddles, character coaches, and special events, we are making an impact in West Central Indiana. Check out where you can get involved at our website, wcindianafca.org. FCA, we are the heart and soul in sports.
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, Troy, this game, the first 4 minutes plus, a lot of movement, but very little productivity to speak of on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman just not able to find the bottom of the basket yet. They're missing a lot of shots, and Earlham playing fast, but not, I don't want to say out of control, but they've made a few mistakes here and there, and we've got a low-scoring ball game.
We do, and Rose-Hulman trying to capitalize as I'm going to get a couple more trips to the free throw line here.
It's just looking at the, there's only 5 conference games left after tonight for Rose-Hulman, and 3 of those 5 are against the top 3 teams in the conference, so that makes tonight even more important.
Jackson, one of the lowest free throw trajectories you'll find anywhere.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up too. Yeah. He's kind of a straight arm, just a line drive in there.
That ball never gets, very high. Like, the apex of the ball is maybe a foot above the rim.
Yeah.
It just seems like, but, he makes 1 of 2 there. Second engineer to go 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
He's a 79% shooter from the line, so I guess it works.
Jackson's speed going to be pivotal tonight. Matchups are important. Blair and McGowan in the same time. I honestly do not like that. It works there as I just the speed. I don't know why we go with 2 bigs against the speedy lineup. That's going to be difficult defensively. Offensively, you better score on every trip if you're going to do that.
They've had Brad Harden on Jaden Terry so far. That seems to be working out pretty well.
Jackson moving the ball. McGowan looking for Blair. No. Harden coming across the screen. Pull it. Free throw line area. Back to McGowan. Very patient with 1 on the shot clock. McGowan makes it go down with his left hand. 6-6. Engineers tied this game. Almost a turnover. Jackson couldn't quite get to the spot. Phillips saves the ball for the Quakers. Ball moving around for Earlham. Corner is McAboo. Shot clock down to 5. Jumper is good.
It's a long range 2 there that falls for Earlham. They're awful difficult to deal with here early on.
That's right. Jackson terminates his dribble, almost got caught. Good ball pressure by Jaden Terry all over Harden. Blair finds himself wide open, come off the butt of the rim, and Terry down with the rebound. A couple more subs at the scorers table.
Not sure that's the shot Rose is looking for. Blair just 5 of 28 for the year from 3.
Shot that he can hit, but just doesn't hit it with very high frequency as of this point in his career. McGowan stayed down, and it led to an offensive or a possession going the other way. I think it was maybe an air ball.
Yeah, Abshir's going to have to bring it a lot more than he did there if he's going to get over Miles. He was like a brick wall down there on that possession.
Bowman and also Hicks into the contest. Casey Keese coming in for Earlham. Chaplin lines up a 3, no good. Blair had the ball, but it was popped away from him.
Remember, Terry lit these guys up earlier this year on December 7th. He had 21 points, 9 rebounds, so a big game for Terry Hicks up in Richmond.
Holder back in. Oh, boy. Back in for Abshire as the ball was tipped out of bounds on the outer bounds. You can see where the Engineers want to go. They were trying to find something right at the bucket. Here comes Vuk Juric in for the first time. He'll replace Blair.
Did Vuk play Saturday?
I
haven't seen him in a while.
Well,
so.
if he did, it was sparingly. Right at the rim, there's that play they just executed a little bit better that time. Hicks ties it up 8 apiece. Just under 13 to go, first half. Earlham moving the ball. So I love their movement. They're just not as productive at this point in the game. They keep doing things well like they are. They'll have success. A foul on a reach around. Juric tried to get the steal. So we have 3 Engineers with 1 foul apiece. Earlham has 3 team fouls as well. Holder on Juric, so that could have been traveling. It is. Yeah, I think he wanted to make the pass and he's jumped to spin. You don't want to loop your feet to make that pass.
No, that was a mistake there, but just a reminder, the next home game for Rose, February 11th, that's senior day, and we've got a pretty big senior class this year.
We do.
We want to see everyone come out for that one.
And I'm sure we'll have a very festive atmosphere as Holder gets the ball away from Juric. Coming the other way. Here comes Earlham in transition. Thought about a 3. Zachary Andre could have driven.
Great job by Terry on that one. Sorry, Walt. He climbed over the top without making any contact, got the steal.
Still tied at 8, 12 minutes to go, first half. Let's see if Chaplin can put it in. Nope, didn't get one off. Juric, cross-court pass. Here's Bowman. Yes, sir. He stepped in right where he left off. Had a great game against Mount on Saturday. And here he steps in, knocks down his first shot. It's big for the Engineers, their first lead of the game.
Yeah, nice spark off the bench there from Willie.
A little tripping violation as feet get tangled up and Keith goes down. And it's going to lead to another media timeout. 11-8 Engineers on top for the first time.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
XLH Sports, the undisputed leader in Indiana high school sports, is proud to be associated with the Indiana Sports Network. XLH Sports, check it out today.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have, and that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
11-8, Engineers find themselves in the lead at this point in the contest, shooting 40% from the field. As Earlham I mentioned, a lot of activity, with just not the highest of efficiency in their offensive execution right now.
Yeah, they've had a few turnovers, and Rose pretty stout defense so far.
Yep, and that's what you would expect from Rose, good defense. And I think really with Rose, that's where it all starts. You got to do, if they don't play good defense, they're not going to win too many of the games.
Yeah, it is kind of where they make their living. But so far, everybody's stepping up. We've seen good action out of Harden and Hicks.
Yeah, they caught Keys on a moving screen, I do believe. Yep. I'm sorry, Casey Kesey. I was saying Keys. My apologies to his family. Could be watching, family and friends watching right now. Casey Kesey. So I heard the PA announcer get it right that time.
Studemeyer last month against Earlham, 3 for 3 from three-point land, and one of his bigger games with 15 points against the Quakers.
Farnsworth in the game for the first time. They got Hicks down low. Up for the score, 13-8. Engineers with the biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, big-time mismatch down there. They had Anthony Phillips at 5'11", going up against Terry.
Engineers have to be efficient on the offensive end and utilize their advantage. A nice step into the mid-range jumper. Jaden Terry not able to knock it down. Jurich wanting the ball. Bowman gets it to him. He gets doubled. A nice pass to Higgs. I'm telling you what, Luke Jurich has great eyes. He has a great feel for the action on the court. It leads to a timeout. 15-8. Engineers up 7.
Grace Clinic Health Professional. Affordable, compassionate, comprehensive healthcare for the whole family. In Terre Haute and Greencastle.
You're watching college basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Today's vehicle.
Today marks the 122nd meeting between these two fine institutions, Earlham and Rose-Hulman. Rose-Hulman holds a 66-55 advantage.
Been playing for 123 years.
Isn't that something? Boy, that's a long. Oh my! That three-point shot felt like it was going to never come down. I think it brought down some of the freezing rain that's coming from Dallas right now, or going around Dallas.
It's 118 years. I can't do math, Walt. Sorry.
That was a big shot by Kesey. Brings Earlham within 4. Engineers trying to respond. Studemeyer, corner pocket. 18-11.
Studemeyer, 45% from beyond the arc this season. He's been an excellent addition for Rose-Hulman, and another turnover.
Yeah, that was just not a good turnover. There's really not a good turnover, but you know, the one good thing is at least it's a dead ball situation. But just trying to move the ball on offense and shuffle your feet before you put the ball on the deck. Engineer is going to have to capitalize to keep this offense going. And while Earlham is kind of struggling, you got to keep putting on him. Studemeyer to speed. He gets fouled from behind. Kind of thought he would be setting someone up, but he blew by his defender, got all the way to the basket.
He gets good feelings when Earlham rolls into town. He feels like shooting.
So. Studemeyer gets the free throw line. Jaden Terry, who had 29 points in the December matchup, has 2 fouls. I do believe. I heard that he has 2 fouls. I can't see the scoreboard from, you know, it's blocking. Is it 2? Okay. Studemeyer makes that one. So he splits. Studemeyer, Hicks, Farnsworth, Bowman, and Church in the game for the Engineers. Could have been a turnover there. A little bit of a shuffle of the feet. A high rainmaker by Terry is missed, and Church come down with it. Here comes Studemeyer.
Don't see many guys try to
violation
make the shot.
Or a turnover? What is it going to be? We get a late call on the tripping violation. Yeah, and I think it was a right call as Absher's feet got tangled up with Voops. Voop gets a nice high five from his coach, Coach Nick Sales, first-year coach here at Rose-Hulman, trying to get the program running the way he wants it to be run.
pretty good first year going for him too.
Absolutely. So. The cupboard definitely not bare when he arrived. Hicks looking over his defender. McGowan goes away from the double team. McGowan spins off the glass. No, here comes Terry. Engineers pick up in transition. Terry bobbles the ball.
Nice recovery by Farnsworth.
Very good closeout. Terry on the drive. The push off. Could have been his third foul.
Yeah.
Kind
of got away with one.
Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times the aggressor gets, the advantage there, as he's kind of like he was daring the referee to make a call.
That's what they always say in football. They always see the second guy, you know.
Terry, a young man that has seen his share of high-profiled games. Went to Lawrence Central in Indianapolis, and when you go to LC, every night is a battle. A lot of those Indianapolis, the township schools play each other, and it's just a tough area to play basketball in. Farnsworth, the elbow jumper, no good. Terry, the rebound. Terry trying to initiate the offense now.
Noticed Earlham slowed down a good bit, now running a more set offense than they were early on.
Step back jumper, good for Tommy from Champaign, Illinois.
McAboo, another senior, he averages about 14 a game.
Oh, nice strip. Quick hands for Anthony Phillips, and here he comes in transition. Engineers back, they have numbers, making Earlham set up. Kesey on the drive, it was slapped off of his knee. Out of his hands, off his knee, is going the other way. 19-15, 7:39 to go first half.
Today's vehicles often require additional procedures such as computer scans for even simple repairs. This ensures that your crash avoidance system and distance sensors are functioning properly.
At Honey Creek Collision, we invest in the latest equipment and technology and provide continuing education for our technicians to ensure a high quality and safe repair.
Honey Creek Collision is a second-generation, family-owned and operated business that you can trust.
So when your insurance company asks, tell them you're going to Honey Creek Collision.
There was a time when your local pharmacy defined your community. Before the days of long lines and drive-through national chains, pharmacists gave your health personal attention, and you always met with a familiar face. Back then, your questions were always answered, even when you forgot to ask. In Brazil, Indiana, that friendly local pharmacy has always been Lynn's Pharmacy since 1872. We are a modern pharmacy with the latest technology, still deliver that old-fashioned, friendly personal service today. Experience the tradition with your family at Lynn's Pharmacy in downtown Brazil.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
7:39 to go first half. I'm listening in the timeout. They always play music. They had to check the playlist there, as there's a song that didn't have like vulgarity in it, but the subject matter was not, something conducive to a college sporting event. Some questionable subject matter. So they quickly changed the song. I'm like, thank you.
Never
check
know what
the playlist.
You're
Yeah, check the, your college student probably set the playlist and something snuck in on unawares. And speaking of sneaking in unawares, Miles McGowan trying to get the offensive rebound, almost squeezed it, but it was knocked away. He dropped it out of bounds. It's going to go the other way.
Rose-Hulman's kind of flipped the script on Earlham here tonight, as they've got 9 points off turnovers, 7 turnovers already for the Quakers.
It's a high number in 13 minutes, just almost 13 minutes of play, as Earlham trying to get themselves set. Elbow jumper, once again, goes down. That's 2 jumpers in a row from McAboo.
He's a dangerous shooter for sure.
Chaplin trying to find his shot, and just the defensive pressure, a little bit too much. Bowman, the English, off the glass, not known as a driver, blew by his defender, got to the bucket. Terry, nice drop off the Holder.
Yeah, Willie's trying to steal that spark plug status from Studemeyer, I think.
Yeah, he is.
He's come in tonight and play a big role in this one.
Engineers up 21-19. Nearing 6 minutes to go. A crossover by Harden off the glass. Oh! Back-to-back acrobatic moves for the Engineers.
After a slow shooting start in this one, Rose-Hulman now shooting about 50% for the game. And we've got a foul.
Yeah, they had to call that one. Had to call that one, a moving screen, and then two players collided. I think it was McAboo collided with, I think, Harden. And the Engineers will get another crack at it.
Harden's one of those guys defensively that you refer to him as a pestilence, I think.
Yes.
He's always there, and he's very hard to deal with.
Zachariah Andre in the game from Orlando, Florida. I'll be heading that direction tomorrow. Not quite as far as Orlando.
You're getting away from the cold, are you?
Yeah, not for the reason I would want.
Oh, it's a work trip, huh?
No, well, we got to unfortunately have to go for a funeral, but
I'm sorry.
But it is warmer. I had my son check the temperatures down in Jacksonville a couple hours ago when we were riding home from picking him up from school, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's a lot warmer than here, so I'll take it. 3 in a row. 3 in a row for McAboo. He's starting to get warm.
Still just a 2-point game here. Rose-Hulman, you'd like to see him stretch this thing out a little bit before halftime.
Boy, they're doing a great job on Chaplin. Phillips right in his mug. He just cannot find any space. He's hounded. Almost turns it over. McAboo looking for the foul call. Didn't get it. 6 on the shot clock. Engineers got a foul. There's an offensive foul. There's your push off as Chaplin just frustrated, getting hounded.
Yeah, Max is doing his darndest to find his shot, but boy, he is having a rough time finding air right now, and his shots aren't falling. He's a little frustrated. We don't see that much out of Max.
I look across the gymnasium. I see his darling mother here tonight. Has missed the last few games, just a little bit under the weather. So glad to see her back in attendance tonight, Mrs. Chaplin. Glad she's feeling better. Able to make the trip from Fishers.
And here I said there wouldn't be any students here. We got a few showed up.
Yes.
So somebody's skipping out on the studying, I think.
I think you're right. There's a nice little contingent of students. Guess who?
Man.
He can't miss. Tommy McAboo, 4 shots in a row, was tied at 23 with 4:30 to go in the half. Harden looking for space. Almost had McGowan. His shot curls off the rim. And Kesey comes down with the rebound. Doing a great job off the bench here tonight. Phillips, the 3. Great rotation. It looked good coming out of his hand. And it looked good going through the nets. 23-26. Engineers down 3. That'll lead to a quick timeout.
We were choosing colors for the house. And I stopped and looked at Mike and said, "We're really doing this, aren't we?" The process was challenging, but Riddell was there for us every step of the way. The mortgage, closing, they eased our stress. It made sense when Mike said,
"We're really doing this."
Mortgage loans made easy from Riddell. Making friends since 1885.
Your All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an All-Pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one All-Pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
The city of Brazil.
Troy, the Quakers have really snapped a nice little string, or snapped a dry spell, and now they're just hot as a firecracker.
Yeah, they're hitting everything. McAboo, what do you have, 3 or 4 straight possessions? Yeah. He's hitting jumpers, and then I think that was Zachariah Andre hit that last 3. And you don't see many threes out of Earlham, but boy, that one came at a big time, and all of a sudden, Rose-Hulman working from behind.
McAboo leading all scorers tonight with 10 points. Engineers being led by Hicks. They've got 7 players that have scored, I believe. I see Chaplin in the corner. He finally got a crease, and he made them pay.
Boy, that's big for Max to see that one go through the net. Hopefully he can turn it on now.
Ooh. Boy, that was a kick ball, and Kesey, I thought he stopped his dribble just a little bit early. I think before his teammate was at the spot for him to make that pass, and they got away with it.
It's hard to believe Earlham's only won 4 games.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of athleticism on this team. They work well together, it seems like.
Oh, as you say
that's
that.
the problem.
Yeah, and I think McAboo was expecting Holder to do something different than what he did. He thought it was to stay out, and Holder went towards the basket. And there's turnover. It was probably number. We're getting close to 10. Turnover number is pretty high.
A relatively young team. I mean, they've got quite a few freshmen on the roster, but you can't really say it's because of that. But boy, they do have a turnover problem, it seems.
Zachary Jackson back in the game. Chaplin cut off. Just the defensive pressure. And it's a travel. That's going to be a travel by McGowan, trying to set himself up. Too many pump fakes and shuffle his feet.
Yep, you just want Miles to go up sometimes.
Yep. Zachariah Andre has the braces, not braces, that's the right word, kind of the knee guards. I don't know if I can't tell if it's like tape only or if there's padding there. But I think I remember him, wearing that every time I've seen him. So
sometimes
it looks like
it's just a comfort thing.
I think so. I could be wrong as Chaplin goes to the deck, lost the ball, jump ball. It's going to stay here.
If you're diving on the floor like that, you need a little extra support too. So.
Yes, you do. It seems like, it seems like I remember that from previous games. But, it could be wrong. Of course, McGowan, and there's a nice old slip to the basket. Go up! Oh, you got to be strong, and he got the 2 free throws out of it.
I'll say there's a lot of contact on that one.
Yeah. McGowan has the brace on his right leg, and it's been, he had it last year and this year as well. So I don't know if it is something to help structurally, or if it's like you said, more of a comfort thing. So you wouldn't think it'd be a comfort thing, because usually players don't want to wear a brace like that, but could be.
Yeah, I don't know his history if he's had knee problems or anything, but sometimes if you have, it just makes you feel a little more comfortable to know there's extra stability there, and gives you that little bit more confidence in it.
McGowan splits a pair, Engineers up 1. I think every time the Engineers have gone to the line, they've split the pair. I don't think anybody's made 2 yet.
66% shooter from the line.
And Terry misses Blair the rebound. Big 2 minutes here for Earlham and also for the Engineers. Earlham finds themselves down 1. Chaplin behind the back in the paint, off the glass. No, just could not get it to drop, as he had a decent look. Had to go around a couple of defenders.
Pretty good minutes for Blair and Jackson so far in this one.
Phillips, nice closeout by Blair and Jackson. Oh, did he call? Oh, yep, he got the jump ball. Great hands digging down by Jackson. This game is not one that you would use a video to show teams how to screen.
No.
There have been some really poor attempts at screening in this game, and that's partially due to the screener and partially because of the screenee. The timing has to be right. It's got bodies crashing to the floor.
That's at least the 3rd possession I've seen Earlham get behind the backboard and still manage to get the shot off.
to the free throw line, Zachariah Andre.
He's got a bit of a quirky stroke.
Yep.
Andre, 57%. Well, he's only, can't really judge by that. That's only his 8th free throw attempt of the year. So.
And a couple times off the iron. That one is missed. Tied at 27.
Nice,
Blair to the deck, off the oh, you got to capitalize. You have to have that one. I didn't think he needed to go to the deck, but once again, that's you talked about kind of comfort. Going to the bounce is for a big man kind of a comfort thing a lot of times.
Yeah, Terry did all the work on that one, found him, and all he had to do was go up. But like you said, it's just sometimes they get in a habit, and it's a hard one to break.
Yeah.
And boy, you feel like if he'd have gone straight up, that would have been an easy two.
Agree. Engineers trying to close out the half defensively. Terry on the drive, gets by Harden off the glass. But it's so hard to stay in front of for 40 minutes.
Just a really, really quick team.
Yep. Harden off the screen, Hicks. Looking. Chaplin, that's a travel. Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to get away with it. He did not. Did not get away with that.
All of a sudden, Earlham looking for a bit of a healthy lead here going into halftime if they could put some points up.
Yep.
Rose hasn't really been able to kind of gather themselves this entire first half. It's been a little frantic.
3-second difference, game shot and shot clock. Game clock and shot clock. Well, there we go. On the drive, a nice screen. Here comes McAboo around Jackson. Jackson keeps him in front, makes a tough shot, holding the tip, no good. Here come the Engineers. Farsworth with one. Half court. Oh. Just a little bit off. And the half ends as frantically as it went for the first 20 minutes. 29 Quakers, 27 Engineers. Step aside for a quick break. Come back for halftime and stats and analysis. You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
We were choosing colors for the house, and I stopped and looked at Mike and said, "We're really doing this, aren't we?" The process was challenging, but Riddell was there for us every step of the way. The mortgage, closing, they eased our stress. It made sense when Mike said,
"We're really doing this."
Mortgage loans made easy from Riddell. Making friends since 1885.
Your All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an All-Pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one All-Pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are!
You're #1 at York.
It could be anyone. The star student, the all-state athlete. I never thought it could happen to me, that I could lose everything. I found help, I found hope, I found recovery. I regained something lost.
It's time for the halftime report on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, Troy, this game won't win very many beauty pageants, but it's still a very important game nonetheless. 29-27, Engineers find themselves down 2 points at the intermission. They started the game off a little sluggishly, found themselves with the lead for, out of the 20 minutes, they probably had the lead for, 12, 13 of them. Found themselves down at the break.
Yeah, I think frustrating would be the
Sure.
theme of that half, and I bet Earlham does that to a lot of teams. But just not really clicking on really any cylinders in that half. The shooting was off at the start of the game, and then it kind of got rolling, but then the turnover bug crept up. And, Earlham started hitting some shots there in the last 5 or 6 minutes, and Makabu, boy, that guy, he's something else.
Yeah, they
or Macaboo, I think I said it wrong. So.
I think that, the speed, we talked about that for Earlham, you see the speed that they have, and thankfully they've turned the ball over quite a bit from the Engineers' perspective, or else this really probably could be a double-digit victory, a double-digit lead right now for Earlham.
Yeah, it could be. Earlham's turned it over 9 times, and I mean, a lot of those down when they get it in the paint, and they could have gotten some pretty easy buckets there probably. So Zachary Jackson's playing great defensively. I mean, he's like a Rottweiler on a ham bone down there. So
yes,
he's fun to watch.
Were you holding that one? Were you?
I don't know.
Okay,
Crossed my
I like
mind.
that.
I gave my dog a ham bone the other night, and he's not a Rottweiler, but it was fun to watch. So,
I bet it was.
Bradley Harden, again, playing good defense, but they're just, a step or two behind Earlham, and they're going to have to figure it out here at halftime, or else this could be a very unwanted loss. So
I'd love to see more minutes with Jackson and Harden on the floor together.
Yeah.
The speed, that guard, to match that speed, especially defensively, where the Engineers in this game, and they're doing a nice job defensively, holding Earlham to just 29 points in the first half. Earlham's had, I believe, 7 games where they've scored over 70 points, 70 or more points. So not doing a bad job defensively, but I just, keep them out of the paint, to have that guard, that speed could be beneficial.
Yeah, and it's a lot of just guard penetration, the points in the paint from them. It's not like they've established a big man in there.
Sure.
They don't really have a Miles McGowan or a Terry Hicks that they can throw down in there and, just let him go to work. So they're doing it from all angles, and Rose-Hulman yet to quite figure it out. There's still 20 minutes left, plenty of time. You're only down by 2, so nothing to get down and out about, but you've got this game holds a lot of weight, and
sure does.
As we get towards the end of the year, these guys are feeling that pressure. They are, and they certainly aren't going to like the looks of that first half. Really, either team, as you mentioned, it was a little bit ugly. So
a lot of analogies about what pressure can do. We're not going to go down that road, but there's a lot of pressure in this game, especially for the Engineers trying to keep their seeding in the top 6 of the conference. We'll step aside for our first break in our halftime show. Come back with more stats and analysis after this.
The city of Brazil was founded in 1866. By 1876, there were 2 schools, 7 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 4 churches, and 5 drugstores. One of those drugstores is still there today, Lynn's Pharmacy. Lynn's Pharmacy has grown from a small neighborhood drugstore to a modern pharmacy, offering prescriptions and medical equipment with old-fashioned values and unparalleled service. You can even step back in time and visit Lynn's Soda Parlor
here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
At Great Dane, we are proud to invest in our people and the communities we call home. We are hiring now for trailer assemblers and welders across the country. We need the makers, people who are ready to make a difference. We need you. Build something bigger for yourself and your family with great health benefits, advancement opportunities, 401k, pension, and more. Apply today at greatdane.com/careers.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
I'm All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor for York Automotive. York is my #1 pick for your next car, truck, or SUV. Shop from over 600 vehicles at YorkAutomotive.com today.
You're #1 at York.
Here at Mossy Oak Properties, Indiana Land and Lifestyle, we know hunting property, and our agents have the skills to close the deal. But what is it that separates us from others? We have field experience. We speak the language. We use targeted marketing. We cast a wide net, and we have local contacts. When it comes to buying or selling your hunting ground, let's just say, we're killing it.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Troy, before we went to break, we were talking about Rose-Hulman, Earlham not having a big man, kind of like a Hicks or a McGowan to kind of throw the ball down low to. Rose-Hulman has that guy, or guys like that, but are having a hard time getting the ball because of the Earlham pressure.
Yeah, their defense is it's fun to watch. I mean, they're all over them. You mentioned, I don't know, one time Max had the ball. I mean, they've got no space at all. Yep. And you can tell it's kind of getting to Max, and that doesn't normally happen. You don't see him out of sorts too often. And but, yeah, getting the ball inside's been tough. Had a few mistakes down there, putting the ball on the floor when maybe you shouldn't, and getting double-teamed pretty consistently underneath. So it's going to be a battle for Rose to figure this out. If they could knock down a few outside shots, may relieve the pressure inside. Maybe Studemeyer. I mean, we saw him hit a three and look pretty good. And Terry's been getting a little warmer as we go along, so we'll see what happens. But I don't think we've seen the last of Max either. He'll figure it out.
The one good look that he had in that corner, he knocked it down, kind of like you would expect. When you look at Studemeyer, you got to mention him and his three-point prowess. I think he said about 45% for the year.
Yeah.
That's a young man as his career progresses. You already see he can knock down the outside shot. It's not like he's got to work on his outside shot. He's going to get better over time. He's got a nice shot, and it goes down with frequency. He's just not, a premier person as a freshman that's going to get, 12 shots a game. So as his role in the offense increases, hopefully we'll continue to see him hover around that 40 or more % from three-point line.
Yeah, I would think so. And you never know what the future holds, but, you would expect him to progress as each year comes along. And, just long-term, you look at having Miles as just a sophomore.
Right.
And then you got Studemeyer as a freshman, and I mean, there's an inside-outside combo that teams could have to deal with for 3 years here, and that's a bit of a scary prospect if you're in the Heartland Conference. So, because I think Studemeyer will come a long way, and maybe by his senior year, he will be taking 12 threes a game, and he's the kind of guy that could knock down 7 of them. So
yeah, and when you look at the Engineers, you got to find a way to get Chaplin a little bit open space. Part of that would help with some better screening. I think neither team screened very well today. The timing between the person setting the screen and the ball handler just has been off by both teams all half.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job of disrupting each other, and it's been pretty sloppy offensively, honestly, on both ends. But it's mainly because of the other team's defense. I mean, they're making it that way. And, I don't know if that's going to get cleaned up, honestly. This may be just one of those ugly games that you don't really care how you come out on top. You just want to win.
Kind of reminds me of, I remember watching cartoons as a kid, and you see, the cartoon character that's got to hurry up and do something, and they get their legs moving, and they're moving, but they haven't actually gone forward yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. Different parts of this game, and you see there's a lot of movement. It's kind of like that duck. You see him kind of gliding across the water, but those little feet are just pedaling like all get out.
Just treading water, man.
Yeah. So I think both of these teams, you look at Earlham. You mentioned how they only have 4 wins. It's just a kind of mind-boggling. Because the talent level is they're much more than a 4-win team, but trying to put it together for 40 minutes has been a challenge for them. But at the same token, Rose-Hulman in games has done the same thing. 40 minutes is sometimes a struggle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we saw that in the Hanover game.
Yes,
I mean, Rose they ran out of steam, man.
Yep.
They just ran out of gas, and that one couldn't keep up with Hanover. And, who knows if Earlham will, slow down or speed up or what's going to happen here. But they are a very athletic team,
yep.
And I'm, after seeing them in person, really kind of shocked that their record is what it is. And that's not a knock on anybody or Coach Schewers or anything. He's in his 4th season. Last year, I didn't realize was the first time they'd been to the Heartland Conference tournament since they joined the conference over a decade ago. So, he deserves some congratulations for that. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad Rose knocked him out in the first round. But it's, he's doing some good things, and I'm sure they're not satisfied with the way this year's gone, but there is a lot of talent, and they are proving that they can hang with anybody. So.
And they definitely are hanging with Rose-Hulman. There's a 2-point lead by Earlham, 29-27. We'll take our last break in our halftime show. Come back and get you set for half number 2 right here on the Indiana Sports Network.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have. And that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
Grace Clinic Health Professional. Affordable, compassionate, comprehensive healthcare for the whole family. In Terre Haute and Greencastle.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
A big thank you to Brian, Sponsler Insurance, Great Dane, Hamilton Center, Honey Creek Collision, Lynn's Pharmacy, Mossy Oak Properties, Riddell National Bank, and York Automotive for being sponsors here tonight. Kanan Harper, Sebastian De La Rosa, and Grant Hainig are camera operators. Engineers will start half number 2 with the ball, trying to draw even or even take a lead. Starting 5 on the floor for the Engineers. For the Quakers, as Hicks puts one up, no good. The Quakers, Casey Kesey has earned himself a start in the second half, and I totally agree with that. With the way he played the first half, glad to see him get rewarded with the second half start. Finds himself in the corner, passes that up, looks down low to Holder. Off the glass, Holder just a little bit too strong for McGowan on that opportunity. He's kind of a bouncy individual, nice length. You're looking at Holder, 6'7", went from Indianapolis. Oh, a steal. And here comes Phillips off the glass. It was blocked by, partially blocked by Hicks, but McAboo gets the offensive board. 33-27. Coach Nick Sales wants a quick timeout.
Today's vehicles often require additional procedures such as computer scans for even simple repairs. This ensures that your crash avoidance system and distance sensors are functioning properly.
At Honey Creek Collision, we invest in the latest equipment and technology and provide continuing education for our technicians to ensure a high quality and safe repair.
Honey Creek Collision is a second-generation, family-owned and operated business that you can trust.
So when your insurance company asks, tell them you're going to Honey Creek Collision.
There was a time when your local pharmacy defined your community. Before the days of long lines and drive-through national chains, pharmacists gave your health personal attention, and you always met with a familiar face. Back then, your questions were always answered, even when you forgot to ask. In Brazil, Indiana, that friendly local pharmacy has always been Lynn's Pharmacy since 1872. We are a modern pharmacy with the latest technology, still deliver that old-fashioned, friendly personal service today. Experience the tradition with your family at Lynn's Pharmacy in downtown Brazil.
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, we told you it was a bring-your-own-energy type of night, and Earlham has definitely brought it to begin half number 2. They've come out with a nice 4-0 spurt to begin this half, and Coach Sales says, wait a minute, fellas, we got to regroup right now. Brings in Zachary Jackson, and we'll see how the Engineers do after this timeout.
Yeah, it was reminiscent of how the first half started with Earlham grabbing some quick buckets. And
McGowan in the paint, ball tipped away from him. Got to be strong with the ball, but he fouled a Holder who does a couple of push-ups. Once again, putting the ball to the deck and letting the defense strip the ball away from you. Guys have got to, when you're that close to the basket, you just got to go straight up. Pivot, go up. You don't need to bounce if you're on the block.
Holder, not outstanding in any statistical category, but he's kind of the workhorse for Earlham, it seems.
Races to the other side, and that's another quick foul on McGowan. I think that was a bit of a cheapie. Got McGowan on the push. That's, is that his second or his third? Third. Team's second foul this half, both by McGowan. He goes to the bench, and Jurich comes in. Too much speed. I was just worried about this game because of the athleticism, the speed that Earlham possesses.
Well, it's kind of been the weakness all year for Rose, or the fast teams. They've struggled with them. And Earlham doing a good job of kind of showing off the weakness in the Rose defense.
And hold by Kesey. There's going to be an out-of-bounds situation for Rose-Hulman as he fouls Harden. That's the one thing, when you look at Harden, you look at Jackson, they can get by their defender to initiate some offense or get to the glass. So nice to see Harden go to the basket that time. They need to do that more often.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman really just needs to string together some possessions. They got to get some scoring going here.
Harden backs his defender down. Jurich off the offensive glass. He gets his bucket to go. He had some good minutes in that first half, didn't he?
Yeah, it's good to see Vuk in there. Missed a few games and seems like he was out for a while. So
had some injury situations and also had some illness in there. So just kind of a rough go at it for a while. Speaking of a rough go at it, Engineers dodged a bullet. I thought Terry was going to score that bucket. Jackson finds Harden, top of the key. Woo. And it goes down. He backpedals. When you see a guy backpedal like that after he releases it, you know he feels good about it.
He knows where it's going. That's a good thing to see from Harden. We're back to a three-point ball game.
That was a travel by Terry. Got away with it. The Engineers get their hands on it, but it's going to stay here. Holder does another push-up.
He's got all that freshman energy. He doesn't know what to do with it.
So I'm telling you, wait till you get in your 40s.
Tell you what, Vuk is really being disruptive down there. He's playing really well right now.
Quakers up by 3, 35-32. Quick jumper is no good and almost thrown away, but Harden stays with it.
Ooh.
Find Hicks down low. Can they corral it? No.
Stepped out of bounds, though.
Earlham read the play very well.
Yeah, they did. I think that was McAboo came over the top maybe, but stepped on the end line. So Rose catches a break there.
Yep.
See if they can make the Quakers pay.
Voop. Chaplin. Little fadeaway. Drops. He needed that, folks. Chaplin. First bucket of the second half. Engineers within 1.
That's what my dad would call an all-around good shot.
There you go. Kesey thought about it. Blows by Jackson, up and under. Jurich, the rebound, and Kesey, the foul. That'll be team foul number 2 by second, team foul for Earlham.
It's his third, I think.
Jaden Terry in the game for Kesey.
Boy, Earlham's getting a lot of really close range looks, but not knocking them down here all of a sudden. And Rose has fought their way back into it, mainly behind Vuk Jurich.
Jurich getting on the glass, coming off the bench in replace of McGowan. Hicks needs to get rid of the ball. He just was in a vice grip by Earlham. Down to 8 seconds. Chaplin probing, looking, mid-range, right below the free throw line, and he knocks it down. 2 in a row for Chaplin.
Yeah, Max starting to heat up here a little bit, and that is not what you want to see if you're Earlham.
Engineers with a 1-point lead, 36-35.
You know, the first time these two teams ever met, February 7th, 1905. And Rose-Hulman lost 28-27, so at least we made it past that score. Holy cow.
And Terry's going to pick up another foul. He runs right over Harden, who flexes his elbow, and that's going to be Terry's third. Yep, third team foul will lead to a timeout. Engineers up 1. We'll be right back.
Some say that our approach to selling wooded ground is crazy. I prefer to think that we're nuts.
Beech.
Walnut.
White oak.
Hickory. We feel having an agent who is nuts about your property helps us attract more customers, making us, well, poplar.
For all your Indiana land needs, check us out at indianalandandlifestyle.com.
We were choosing colors for the house, and I stopped and looked at Mike and said, "We're really doing this, aren't we?" The process was challenging, but Riddell was there for us every step of the way. The mortgage, closing, they eased our stress. It made sense when Mike said,
"We're really doing this."
Mortgage loans made easy from Riddell. Making friends since 1885.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, the Engineers starting to play a little bit better in the second half. They're got a 1-point lead.
Yeah, that timeout that Coach Sales took there about a minute in seemed to have sparked the Engineers a little bit as Vuk Jurich is playing outstanding. We've seen Bradley Harden hit a 3. It seems like Max is heating up a little bit, and everything's clicking here all of a sudden. So the Engineers back in front, and let's see if they can maybe extend this a little bit.
Engineers with Hicks on the ball, and what a great job by Abshir to get in the passing lane. Jackson tried to save it, but Phillips will come away with it for the Quakers. Several times we've seen a Quaker in the passing lane, tipping the ball away. Terry with his 3 fouls off the foot of Hicks. Hicks gets to it. One time off the bounce and off the glass for 2. Terry Hicks in transition. That's a big bucket.
That was real big. Kind of turned the momentum there a little bit. Good job by Terry. Whoa. Almost. It's just a high dribble. I don't know. It's weird looking.
McAboo back to Terry. Terry pulls up from baseline left, and he knocks it down. We've had spurts where teams just start knocking down shots out of the blue, it seems like.
Yeah, there's not really been a rhyme or reason to this game. It's been a little bit here and a little bit there. So
Jackson down the glass, a little bit too strong. too strong off the glass, and the Quakers have an opportunity to take the lead. You don't want a late game situation with this a one-possession ball game. McAboo pull up, rattles it home right in the grill of Chaplin.
And McAboo's 16 on the night now.
Jurich down the paint, or down the in the drive, and Jackson steals him. Oh, you got caught in the foul. I thought he was going to steal it back. You got quick hands. You don't want Jurich driving from Rosie's logo with the mid-court necessarily.
It's not ideal. He's not going to make it all the way very often, I feel like. But looks like Studemeyer's back in.
Coming in for Jackson, I do believe.
You can't fault Zachary Jackson's defense tonight.
No, you cannot.
Been giving it all he's got in there for sure.
Oh boy, close to a turnover there for Phillips. Terry thought about the step back, and oh my, the hesitation. The teardrop.
Saw the mountain of Vuk in front of him and stopped short, and a beautiful little floater there.
Studemeyer. Oh, looking from Vuk down to Hicks. Threw a little bit too tall. Oh, and just like that, a turnover for Terry. Terry turned the ball over, trying to make a play. Harden thought about it, takes it, misses it. Nice lead-ahead pass for Abshire, just a little bit too far in the basket as he was not able to get that to go. And got some tired players on the floor. Got some, might need a couple of substitutions here. We got a couple of fresh bodies at the scores table for the Engineers. And down the lane, Studemeyer off the glass. He'll get 2 free throws after this commercial timeout. 41-38. Quakers will find themselves a 3-point lead. We'll be right back.
Your All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an All-Pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one All-Pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
It could be anyone. The star student, the all-state athlete. I never thought it could happen to me, that I could lose everything. I found help, I found hope, I found recovery. I regained something lost.
You know, I mentioned earlier in the game, the playlist got adjusted. Is this ABBA? Are we playing
I believe
ABBA?
it is. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard ABBA played at the Holbert Arena for a Rose-Hulman basketball game.
Why not? You know?
I don't have the answer. Why not? I would put it in the playlist, but that
little
caught
ABBA
me off
never
guard.
hurt anybody. So
And no, I agree with you.
So
I saw it was a great documentary.
what are they, like Danish or something?
I can't, either Danish or Swedish. I can't remember. But I was getting ready to say I saw a nice documentary on Netflix, and it talked about pop music coming from, I think it was Sweden. So much of influence coming from Sweden, which is where I think was where ABBA's from. But it was a great documentary, and they went down the list of producers and artists from the same country, and it was actually stunning. So I'd put ABBA in the playlist. Absolutely.
Usually I'd go with the Dancing Queen, but that's just my
Oh, yeah.
personal preference.
Engineers, once again, split a pair of free throws. That seems like this has been the theme of the night. You look at the free throw percentage. tonight, not good as they dodged a bullet. Zachariah Andre's shot kind of toilet bowls out. Engineers have a chance to draw even or take a lead.
You look at most of the stats for this one, and they're all pretty darn even. The one surprising thing is that Earlham has out-rebounded Rose-Hulman tonight.
You know, as that shot's no good, as tipped out Farnsworth in the corner, it's going to be a big hit. McGowan almost committed foul number 4 on that offensive rebound attempt. But you look at Earlham, they were plus 12 rebounds last game against Anderson. So this is a team that even they don't have great size, but their athleticism, their activity.
Quickness.
Yeah.
You don't have to be taller to the ball if you can be quicker to it.
That's right. Harden tried to get the steal. Couldn't quite control it before it went out of bounds. Got some scores to update you on the full slate of games in the conference. Mount St. Joe's bluffed it up 10 second half. Manchester and Defiance are in a tight one. Last scoring update, 46-42. About 10 minutes or so to go. Transy up 22, home against Franklin. And this is a big shot right here. And couldn't save it. We're going to go the other way. In the game, outside of this one, of course, but the game of the night in the conference, Anderson at Hanover. Anderson 57, Hanover 55. About 7 minutes to go in that game. It was a 7-point game at halftime. So conference standings will be shaken up
yet again
every Wednesday and every Saturday from here on out. McGowan, no! Ball's tipping around, and Terry comes down with it.
If you're Rose-Hulman, you want those top 4 or 5 teams to beat up on each other, and you take advantage. But right now, they're struggling to take advantage.
Just got to find a way to be up 1 at the 40th minute, as after the 40th minute, as Farnsworth couldn't keep his body in bounds. Stepped on the end line when he's trying to get that rebound. We're going to get a little conversation here.
See Willie Bowman back in there. He provided a little spark in the first half. He had a big 3 and some good defensive play from him as well.
Not sure what the conversation's about there. Whatever it is, they're getting settled and we're going to play. 9:59 to go. Engineers down a bucket. Whoop. Terry slips. Fine. Kept the ball and kept from getting a turnover. That was big for the Quakers. Shot clock's down to 8. Hold of the screen. Boy, Terry's had a hard time with the ball at different points today.
His feet keep getting in his way.
And it's going to stay here. The referee almost pointed the wrong way. The ball was tipped away from Terry. 3 on the shot clock.
This is where you want to box out the lane pretty well. They're going to look for something going towards the hoop.
They're conversating about this. Okay. Yep, they did change the call. I was wondering, when I saw the official go over to the other one, I said, ooh, this one I'd go the other way. And it did. Got that one right. Coach Sales, wasn't too pleased as the few players for the Engineers were kind of barking as well. Harden, Chaplin, corner, no good. Foul on the floor.
It's on Earlham.
Jaden Terry is going to pick up foul number 4. He just can't get in any rhythm today because he had a hard time being on the floor. Kesey will come back in the game for him.
And we've already mentioned it once, but I would like to give props to all these students who have come out here to catch a basketball game, putting the studies off till later tonight. So.
10 on the shot clock. There's a foul. Chaplin will be fouled by Phillips. Phillips, a grad student from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Willie Bowman from Germantown, Ohio. Inbounding the ball. Nice screen by McGowan there. Opens up a nice shot by Harden. Couldn't knock it down. Oh, we should have pulled the trigger on that 3.
Nice save,
Bowman
Willie.
saves it. 13 on the shot clock. McGowan got stripped. It stays here, but boy, the active, quick hands by Earlham saves yet another possession. And they changed the shot clock to 30, but now it's back to 9. So they got it corrected that quickly. Chaplin corner. They defended it well. Chaplin right below the free throw line, up and under, blocked by Holder. 3-on-2. Here comes Phillips off the glass, no good. Great defense by Bowman to contest without fouling.
Yeah, he gave just enough and kept his hands up, so pretty good no call there.
I thought that was going to be a bucket for sure on that 3-on-2 break.
Been stuck at 41-39 for quite a while.
we have Hicks in, McGowan out. Let's see what this lineup can do here for the Engineers. When's the last time Earlham has attempted a three-point shot? Have they attempted one this half?
I don't think they have, no. I remember him hitting
a steal by Harden.
Steal.
One on, a tip by Farnsworth. Oh, he couldn't get it to go down. Woo! Farnsworth tried to bring the house down, but even after that, the Engineers do score and tie it at 41. 8:15 to go. We'll be right back.
The city of Brazil was founded in 1866. By 1876, there were 2 schools, 7 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 4 churches, and 5 drugstores. One of those drugstores is still there today, Lynn's Pharmacy. Lynn's Pharmacy has grown from a small neighborhood drugstore to a modern pharmacy, offering prescriptions and medical equipment with old-fashioned values and unparalleled service. You can even step back in time and visit Lynn's Soda Parlor
here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Farnsworth tried to do his best Pat Beverly impersonation and shocked the mess out of me. I was talking to the Lakers game the other night. I was watching from the hotel room, and Pat Beverly, who was not known as a dunker, got a nice tip dunk late in the fourth quarter. Isaac Farnsworth got up, just couldn't quite get that to go down. He went with his left hand to try to dunk that tip in, timed it beautifully. Engineers did score, but it just surprised me to see him rise and try to flush that thing down like that.
He had a grand idea there. It just didn't quite come together, but thankfully Max was right behind him to clean up. So, yeah, we're 8:15 to go, and we got a brand new ball game. We're all knotted up, and this has been a rather ugly game from start to now, and it's going to be who's got the toughness here. The last 8 minutes, I think.
It's just not the prettiest, but it doesn't matter if you get that W.
Yep.
It was 29-27 at halftime. Earlham was on top by 2, and it's 41-41. We're nearing 8 minutes to go here in regulation. Earlham trying to run their offense. McAboo dancing with Harden. Holder comes to present the screen. He rolls. Andre, the drive, cut off by Hicks, and Bowman gets his hands on the ball with 7:50 to go. Engineers 3 team fouls, Earlham with 6. So Earlham will be possibly giving up some free throws. Engineers, we'll see how this game progresses. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to foul quickly. Kesey with 1 on the shot clock. Finds Phillips for the easy deuce.
The one thing Rose-Hulman hasn't been able to do all night is string possessions together where they're scoring consistently. You'd like to see that begin right now. That's not the way to do it.
And the quick hands by Earlham once again stopped the possession, and then Harden turned the ball over trying to get the cross-court pass. Here comes McAboo. These guards for Earlham trying to make it difficult for the Engineers. They keep the ball there as Farnsworth playing good defense. Farnsworth strips again. That time he got called. Or was it on someone else? We'll see. Who did catch?
On Max.
That was on Chaplin. Team's 4th foul. Chaplin's 2nd. Studemeyer will come into contest for Hardin.
Yeah, this is going to take a gutsy performance by Rose-Hulman to pull this one out. So it all starts right here. Get a stop. Let's go get some points.
Earlham just working the ball, trying to find themselves in the paint. Down 7. Good hedge by Hicks. Step out 3 off the iron a couple of times and does not go down. Zachariah Andre. That was her first 3-point attempt of the half, I do believe. Studemeyer, freshman from Jeffersonville, Indiana. A lot of good ball played down in the Jeffersonville area. Hicks off the iron. Farnsworth, the great rebound. Studemeyer off the offensive rebound. One of the best times to shoot the 3. He cans it.
It's his second 3 of the night. Studemeyer hit 3 of them the first time they played Earlham. Tonight he's got 2. None bigger than that one to give Rose-Hulman the lead.
Kesey, a deep 3 off the back iron. The Engineers talk about stringing possessions together.
I think we come up with. Check on Studemeyer. Let's see him pop another one.
I agree. Bowman flares out, gets in the paint, was tripped. A lot of contact, no call. Got to call something here, guys. And that's going to be out of frustration, I think. Hicks going the other way. I saw Hicks got fouled. No call. And then he kind of ties up his opponent. 5th team foul for the Engineers. 5:46 to go. Engineers clinging to a 1-point lead as they wipe a little sweat off the ball.
Been a really physical game all night long. See which one of these two teams has worn down more than the other.
Kind of a slugfest, if you will. Hicks to step out on McAboo. Chaplin stays in front. Farnsworth providing good defense and a turnover. Here comes Bowman. Bowman streaking, has Studemeyer, but it didn't matter. Bowman to the bucket. A big bucket for Willie Bowman. Did you see the hair blowing in the breeze from Bowman there?
He was flying, wasn't he?
He was.
Nice
and a steal by Hicks.
The tide's turning here with 5 to play. Rose-Hulman starting to make a push.
It's winning time now, down in the last 5 minutes. This is the time to make it happen. Studemeyer. On the cut, Farnsworth off the glass, and 1.
Boy, Studemeyer really wanted to go to him. He finally got him cut into the hoop, and a great finish by Isaac.
Farnsworth is, I'm telling you, it's just a pivotal player for Rose-Hulman. This is kind of a struggle this season to find his footing. But when he's playing well, it really helps his team defensively and offensively. Completes the 3-point play. Engineers, with their biggest lead of the game, up 6, 49 to 43.
And Farnsworth brings so much energy every time he comes into the game. He's really active. Sometimes it gets the better of him, but you can't fault him for his effort.
Great defensive pressure. Almost led to a turnover. Holder, a great pass, and it's going to be a foul. A great pass to Phillips. Phillips will get a couple of free throws. Bowman with the 3rd foul. This unit here for the Engineers has played really well. Studemeyer came in for Hardin, but you've had Chaplin, Bowman, Hicks, and Farnsworth. I talked about kind of the speed, athleticism factor. This is a good lineup for the Engineers against Earlham.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It's about as quick as they get, probably.
Yeah.
So.
Hicks playing the 5, I think, against Earlham, or say Farnsworth playing the 5, if you want to say it. I think that's, it's a good matchup. Chaplin. Finds Farnsworth. Boy, he got to stick him on his hands. Studemeyer in the corner.
Boy, look at Farnsworth.
Boy, he is everywhere right now. Got to move the ball. He's going to get to the free throw line. As Isaac Farnsworth, folks, I'm telling you, just making it happen right now as we lead to our last media timeout. 3:56 to go. Engineers 49, Quakers 45.
At Great Dane, we are proud to invest in our people and the communities we call home. We are hiring now for trailer assemblers and welders across the country. We need the makers, people who are ready to make a difference. We need you. Build something bigger for yourself and your family with great health benefits, advancement opportunities, 401k, pension, and more. Apply today at greatdane.com/careers.
Protect the things that matter most to you. Brian Sponsler, localizing 25 years of insurance experience to bring you and your family better coverage for less. Brian Sponsler Insurance for auto, home, life, and business.
I'm All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor for York Automotive. York is my #1 pick for your next car, truck, or SUV. Shop from over 600 vehicles at yorkautomotive.com today.
You're #1 at York.
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Keeping up with what's been going on in the conference, I talked about that that Anderson and Hanover game. Hanover's Michael Donahoe hit a jumper with 22 seconds left to give Hanover a 71-68 lead. But oh boy, Tay Devagno, a 3-point hit with 3 seconds left, ties that game up at 71. They're a second away from possibly going to overtime. Hanover took a timeout. We'll see what they draw up. We'll keep you abreast of what's going on there. 3:56 to go here. Farnsworth. Oh boy, how about it rattling in? We'll see if he can be the first engineer to make a pair. I don't think anybody's done that yet, have they? That looks good. Yeah. Made a pair. Farnsworth, a good spark here in the second half. Engineers up 6. There he is again in the passing lane. Come off his man and then retreats back to the corner.
Well, the last 3 or 4 minutes been about the best I've seen him play all year.
I agree. Kesey couldn't get by Farnsworth. Here comes Terry. Free throw line gets it to McAdoo off the glass, and the strong hands of Isaac Farnsworth. Ball gets in his vice grip mitts. It ain't coming out.
Boy, Rose-Hulman's been playing with the lineup all night long, and they finally hit on this group of 5 that seems to be clicking really well.
Chaplin, oh boy, I thought he was going to dial it up. Gets cut off. Had to look for Farnsworth. Farnsworth in the paint. That is not a charge. He sidestepped his defender. I disagree with that call.
He called a charge on that?
He called the charge. I disagree. Doesn't matter what I think, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I thought he slid to the left like he was doing the cha-cha slide and avoided the charge, but maybe my vantage point, not quite as good as the referee who was right there.
I didn't agree with that either, Walt.
Just under 3 minutes to go. This is a big possession here for Earlham. Holder on the drive, a spin, he traveled. Did he not travel?
He did, but
my God.
Out of control shot, it comes out in the wash as Rose-Hulman can now hopefully run this clock down a little bit and get out of here.
Turnovers have been a bugaboo for Earlham tonight. Studemeyer from 15 off the glass. Hicks gets to it first. In a new 20 seconds to work with. Coach Sales calls out the play. Engineers are going to have to run it right now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now 7. Screen nowhere near. Studemeyer off the glass. Wow. The speed, that athleticism, the power of Kobe Studemeyer gets a chance for the three-point play.
Boy, he had his back turned to the basket when he released that and somehow got it home. Now Rose-Hulman looking for a 9-point advantage if he can knock this down.
And a timeout by Coach Schewers. 2:06 to go. We'll be right back.
We're the Browns, and this is our account. Our relationship with Riddell really began when we were kids, so when we started our business, it seemed like a natural fit for us.
Riddell's provided all of our financial needs for both personal and business, and we could not be happier with the level of service that we're provided.
Riddell National Bank has helped us grow our business so that we can help grow our communities with the core values that we both share. If you're looking to grow your business, Riddell is your best option.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, the Engineers, Troy, the last, close to 5 minutes, have played really good ball. They've had this lineup on the floor. They had Farnsworth and Hicks as your bigs to go along with Bowman, Chaplin, and Studemeyer. And this lineup, you talk about Coach Sales tinkering, and this one at the right time came up snake eyes.
Yeah, we've had a lot of guys in there tonight. You've had Jurich and Studemeyer, Harden, Chaplin, Hicks. Jackson played quite a bit. We saw Simon Blair for a good stretch. But, yeah, these five together, he finally hit on it at the perfect time. And the biggest lead of the game now for the Engineers.
Kesey couldn't find that three. Kind of a discombobulated possession here for Earlham. Does lead in McAboo layup. I saw a couple of attempted screens that were really mistimed. Possession wasn't looking good, but when you can blow by a defender, it helps.
Yeah, we'll see if Earlham decides to foul or not. Still trailing by 7.
Oh, the trap leads to a Kesey steal. Easy money there. Engineers turn it over. Now they have a 5-point lead.
Got to take care of the ball. This is how Earlham makes their living, getting you to turn it over and getting those fast break points.
Studemeyer handled the situation a little bit better there. McAboo all over him. Studemeyer, the drive, the block by McAboo. Kesey has the ball. Earlham under a minute, down 5 with the possession. Can they find the big bucket? The blow by, the miss by Phillips.
Now they're going to have to
foul. Now
foul.
they foul. They got to foul. I don't know why they're not fouling at a timeout by Coach Sales. 47 seconds to go. Engineers clinging to a 5-point lead.
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s, Indiana's mental health system began to take shape.
From 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people
in central and west central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools.
We eat at the same restaurants.
We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstadter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, the Engineers trying to close this game out. Had a turnover, a block shot that led to some opportunities for Earlham. Earlham not able to capitalize on the last one. 54-49 in a game that we talked about it. Not all that pretty, but the Engineers just trying to get that W in the left side of the ledger.
Yeah, you tell pretty early on this one was going to be a dogfight, and it certainly has been, but we've mentioned it several times. The 5 guys on the floor right now have really clicked for Rose tonight, and especially Isaac Farnsworth coming in, playing really tough, and offensively and defensively, man. He's been fun to watch, and let's see if they can close it out here.
Engineers have the ball. Farnsworth will inbounds. Expect Earlham to try to get a quick steal, and then if not, then foul. They get it to Chaplin. They're going to have to foul him. You can't waste too much time. They're going to come with the trap. Chaplin outlets to Bowman. He shoots free throw as well. They try to trap him. And the ball squirts away, and Earlham comes away with it. Terry almost travels, drags his feet. Kesey, pump fake, can't get it off. Terry the three. He's short. Tip ball, now Bowman has it. He'll try to dribble this thing out, wait for his teammates. You're going to get trapped, young man. He got bailed out from a foul there. Kind of picked up the ball in a tough spot. I don't know how many timeouts the Engineers have.
Willie Bowman, a 95% free throw shooter, just to see if I can jinx him here.
We feel good about this. Be 2 shots, 10 foul. Rattles at home. I particularly enjoyed on that drive to the basket earlier in the second half, watching Willie's hair flow in the wind because he was moving so fast. I really enjoyed that.
That's the fastest we've seen anybody move tonight. He was flying down the floor.
Great rotation on that ball as he swishes that second free throw. Should do it. Earlham just not able to shoot threes with much consistency. Holder, as I say that, knocks that down to hush me up. 6.2 seconds. We're going to keep it right here. A lot of times you'll see a team foul and try to, go to the three-point barrage. That's not Earlham's game. But they did cause some turnovers.
Yeah, they did. 2 or 3 times there they got Rose to turn the ball over. They had the opportunity to kind of bust their way back into this, but just couldn't connect on the offensive end. When you're in that kind of scramble mode and trailing, you've got to score every single possession. They weren't able to do that, and Rose is looking pretty solid here. So,
well, at Hanover, when we talk about that game, it did go to overtime. They're about halfway through that overtime. Is Hanover 78, Anderson 70. Anderson 77. So when we look at the standings here, Anderson's at the top at 10-2. If they lose tonight, that'd be 2 losses in a row here in the conference. Manchester sits at 9-3. Franklin and Hanover 8-4. Rose and Transy 7-5. So, Transy won or is about to win. They were blowing out Franklin. So they're going to move to 8-5. Rose-Hulman hopefully move to 8-5. Hanover looking to get a nice win, or will they have 8-5? So it's just this conference. It's always going to go down to the wire. And this year is just the same as any other year. Manchester did beat Defiance, so they get their 10th win in conference to try to. If Anderson loses, then Manchester's going to be right there in the first spot.
They could be looking at fighting for the conference title here.
Yep. Got to get the ball in bounds, and we do, to Hicks. 5.2 seconds remain. It's already a 2-possession game, but you'd love to make 2 free throws to force them to hit 2 threes in 5.2 seconds, which...
They can do that, then we deserve to go to overtime.
Unless you're Reggie Miller versus the Knicks. It's oh, he missed one. Wasn't that the Larry Johnson game against the Pacers where he hit, where they scored like 8 points in 9 seconds or something crazy? I can't remember.
I don't remember that one. I know the Reggie versus the Knicks one, but I don't know that one.
Larry Johnson that was a kind of a terrible defeat. Hicks made the second, and Terry's miss will complete this game, and Rose-Hulman will get the season sweep from Earlham. 57 Engineers, 52 Quakers in a game that the Engineers absolutely had to have. We'll step aside quickly. Come back for our post-game show. You're watching Rose-Hulman men's basketball on the Indiana Sports Network.
At Indiana Land and Lifestyle, we go to great depths to list and sell your property. If your agent isn't willing to go to these depths,
6 acres with bass,
to list and sell your property, don't you think that's a little fishy?
and there's fish everywhere. Oh, and snapping turtles.
For all your Indiana land needs, check us out at indianalandandlifestyle.com.
Oh, that's gross.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has the mission of leading every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. Through camps and huddles, character coaches, and special events, we are making an impact in West Central Indiana. Check out where you can get involved at our website, wcindianafca.org. FCA, we are the heart and soul in sports.
You are watching HCAC men's basketball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, the Engineers really gut one out tonight. And, there's some nights where it's not going to be a fluid type situation, but they found a way to get the win, and really that's all that matters, Troy.
Yeah, it is. It's a long season, and not every game's going to be a pretty one. So as long as you come out on top in these, especially these kind of hard-nosed conference games like this one, it's a good feeling to know you can win in more ways than one.
I think maybe Coach Sales will say that this game has a nice personality.
Yeah, it's got a personality of its own for sure. It's the second lowest scoring game that Rose-Hulman's played all year. The only other one was the loss to Trine early on. But, that was a different style of ball game, we'll say that. And
it was.
It's good to see Rose-Hulman keep pace in conference play, and they're looking pretty good as next up is Bluffton.
Yeah, and Bluffton, you talked about all season long winning the games that you should win, and even though that's a road game, that Bluffton game is one that you got to find a way.
Yeah, I think you're right. You look at the remaining 5, and you've got at Bluffton and at Manchester, so whichever way you cut it, you want to come out with at least one of those,
yes.
And Bluffton's your best chance. Mm-hmm. And then they come home for 2, Defiance and Anderson. Yep. You've got to win the Defiance game. Mm-hmm. And then the way Anderson's playing, hey, you got a crack at it, They're not unbeatable. They've proven that lately. And then you finish up at Franklin. So if they can finish up 3 out of the last 5, hopefully more than that. Mm-hmm. But I think they'll be sitting pretty to make the tournament, and we'll see what happens from there. So.
They're definitely going to make the tournament. I think you draw the line in the sand, at Mount St. Joe's. I don't know that they're going to be able to make up enough ground. They've really hurt themselves because tonight, Transy, Rose, Manchester all get great wins. And Hanover, with under 20 seconds to go, that's a final, 87-80. Hanover did beat Anderson. So you look at the standings, 10-3 Anderson, 10-3 Manchester, Franklin, Hanover. Nope, Hanover is 9-4, so they move up to 3rd, and then you got Franklin, Transy, and Rose all at 8-5 in the conference. So every game you're just kind of ebbing and flowing in this conference. But Anderson, their 3rd conference loss, their 2nd in a row. So we'll see where they go from there. But this conference is still wide open. There's still several teams that can get the top spot. But I think, the 6 that are in 1 through 6 right now are probably the 6 that are going to make the conference tournament. I think that's a really, really solid 6.
Yeah, it really is. And that's going to make the tournament all that much more fun because every game's a crapshoot.
It's going to be battle.
You don't know. And really, Rose-Hulman taking down Mount St. Joe's over the weekend, that really put a dent in their season because it made that separation in the standings. And as you mentioned, the top 6 look pretty solid. I don't see any of them having a catastrophe happen here in the last few weeks. So, it'll be fun to watch. But come tournament time, boy, it's going to be exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the tournament is just, is a few weeks away. The tournament, the first round of the HCAC begins on February the 19th. That's, we're just 18 days away, just 3 weeks away from that.
Day, man.
You're right. Yeah. You're exactly right. Big win for the Engineers, 57-52. They get the win tonight. Next, Rose-Hulman broadcast will be February the 11th. That's Defiance, as Troy, you mentioned that a minute ago. Our next broadcast on the Indiana Sports Network is tomorrow, as we have Terrell South going to Northview in a big bi-county matchup, and I believe you'll be on the call for that one, I do believe. Is that right? Yeah, so you'll have a lot of fun there at Northview and see who's going to get a victory there with two teams, frankly, that could use the victory. So it'll be interesting one on tomorrow night. I want to thank our sponsors for the last time. Brian Sponsor Insurance, Great Dane, Hamilton Center, Honey Creek Collision, Lynn's Pharmacy, Mossy Oak Properties, Riddell National Bank, and York Automotive. Kanan Harper, Sebastian Della Rosa, and Grant Haynick, our camera operators, our producer and director, Mr. Tony Harper. For Troy Wilzine, my partner, I'm Walter Gordon saying good night, God bless. We'll see you tomorrow night at Northview as Terrell South comes to town. Until then, stay safe. This has been a product of Indiana Sports Network, LLC. Thank you for watching.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.